What if you were playing League of Legends in your Gunnerman cave and suddenly you got transported into a Coliseum, right in the middle of a tournament arc? On top of that, you are given the ability of copying your opponent's skill. Sounds good, right? That's until you realize this is the most useless skill in this world, and on top of that, if you lose a fight, you get your cheeks clapped by the winner.
Why are you gay?
But you don't have to imagine that part since the manga we are going to recap does it for you. Here's the name of this masterpiece, so I better not see you guys asking for name in the comments section, or else I'll pray you get reincarnated in this manga. The story starts in a dark musty room, lit only by the glow of a gaming monitor. Our boy Koji, a certified basement demon, is deep in a ranked battle. Other than being a gamer, he is painfully average in every other aspect of life. He's chugging G Fuel like it's holy water, telling himself this will be his last game before sleep. But then a literal magic portal spawns under his crusty gamer feet, and before he can even Alt plus F4, he gets yeeted into a massive Coliseum. He wonders where is he and thinks it is one of those so-called otherworldly summoning. But then a woman with milk jugs so big that she can single-handedly solve the global starvation introduces herself as the head priest. Her name is Zaid and says she was the one who summoned him. Before Koji could say anything, they decide to check his skills. Turns out he has no initial skills and he is a real-life NPC in his own manga. But all is not lost because he has one blessing skill, the skill of copying. Koji gets excited because he finally got the OP skill of those Isekaid manga protagonists when they are reincarnated. But apparently, copying is the most useless skill known to mankind in this world. Which means our boy Koji is cooked. Zaid orders her minions to take him to the Coliseum because he is nothing more than a sword-fighting slave.
A few moments later.
A buff-looking dude kicks Koji's butt and throws him in a cellar. But before going, he reveals that in this world your status is determined by your skill. But since his skill is copying, he'll be treated like trash no matter where he goes. As Koji's coping, he hears a laugh behind him. He turns around and sees a female captive who says Koji has no luck because he got summoned with a copying skill. She explains that Koji's been summoned to a country called Bumbledole, currently beefing with their neighbors. So, they summon warriors from Earth like Pokemon cards who'll fight for them. Every summoned warrior gets a random skill, and if the skill is powerful, that warrior will get preferential treatment and become a soldier for the country. On the other hand, nobody gives a crap about people with trash skills, because a summoning requires 1,000 mana stones. So they are turned into live entertainment for the people of this country and are sent to the Coliseum. If that wasn't bad already, Zulu reveals that if you lose a match, you get stripped but naked and your cheeks get clapped in front of the whole Coliseum. Koji's like, wait, but I'm a dude. But Zulu says it's irrelevant. He assumes the worst and thinks he'll have to slurp some warrior's glizzy. Turns out it's worse than that because if he loses, he'll turn into a woman and then get his cheeks clapped by the winner. Basically, if a guy wins, he does the clapping. If a girl wins, she grows her own magic sword and still does the clapping. At this point, bro realizes he's not cooked. He's deep-fried. Zulu asks him how he plans to use his copying skills, but first, he wants to know why copying is considered such a useless skill. She explains that in a fight, the person you are facing will use a skill they are very familiar with. On the other hand, the person with the copying skill will be using it for the very first time, which means their proficiency with that skill would be 0. With an evil grin on her face, she pulls out a knife and asks Koji what kind of a person could use a tool that they have never trained with. Even if the skill is vital, it's of no use if the user is clumsy. On top of that, Koji will most likely be facing Torture Mary, a gladiator mommy who steps on losers just for fun. Honestly, I'd volunteer as tribute. Zulu straight up tells him that he is going to get his ass handed to him, and his only chance of winning is to outlast Mary, which is impossible. Our boy Koji starts shitting his pants like a toddler because he is going to be used as a meat relief, simply because they think of this as a game. But then something clicks for him. He starts laughing maniacally, which makes Zulu think he has probably lost his mind. Fighting with skills, I won't die even if I die. This is just like a video game. His gamer instincts kick in and he thinks it's just like a super realistic VR game, which means he can grind for hundreds of hours and discover all the possible strategies to beat this game. He gets excited upon realizing all the different routes. Although he may be a below-average Joe in real world, he is a top-level gamer who has never lost a single game in his life, just like his virginity. With big dick energy flowing through his body, he starts smiling like a maniac. Meanwhile, in another room, we see an old geezer walking into Torture Mary's chamber. She's in the middle of her torture session, aka stepping on losers. Upon hearing about her match, she smiles like a dummy mommy and plans to castrate his opponent, so she can use him as her bitch forever. Lord have mercy, I may have creamed in my pants. The scene then shifts to the Coliseum, where people are screaming on top of their lungs as if they saw their favorite Twitch streamer IRL. The announcement lady then formally introduces us to Mary, the lady of the flame built like the final boss of OnlyFans. She has a perfect record of making me goon 20 out of 20 times and has never lost a fight. On the other hand, stands her opponent and our gooner protagonist Mikigami Koji. The crowd starts booing him and tell him to get lost. But bro just stands there like a Chad JoJo character and keeps aura farming. Mary gets up from her throne, shaking the stadium with them juicy thunder cakes and tells Koji that if his body stops responding in the middle of the battle, then she'll just make him her baby girl and properly make babies with him. Among the chaos, like a confident man who is packing a 6-inch Subway sandwich in pants, Koji walks towards her, takes a deep breath, and announces to the whole area that he will defeat her. On top of that, he is going to clap her big booty cheeks and cream in them thick thighs. Hearing those words, every single degenerate in the arena starts cheering for our boy, and this makes the higher authorities upset. Zulu watches from the sides and wonders if he is being deadass right now. She looks at his gooner smile and realizes maybe this virgin really is cooking something. Turns out our boy ain't just a clown, bro actually gathered intel on Mary before the fight and rage-baiting her was also part of his plan. Man's playing 4D chess while everyone else is still trying to find the tutorial. She instantly takes the bait and fires off her purgatory flames, lighting up the whole Coliseum like a Christmas tree. Koji barely dodges her attack, but before he could recover, she launches another one. But this time he copies her backstep evasion and slides out like a Souls player dodging Rent. With a cheeky grin, he decides to counter with his own purgatory flame. But instead of a firestorm, his flame was small and weak. Just like the wiener of the people who watch this video but don't subscribe. The flame hits her and nothing happens. Turns out her armor has fire nullification, meaning Koji basically threw a candle at a flamethrower. She starts spamming more attacks like a button-mashing Tekken player, and Koji's out here rolling, dodging, and praying like his life depends on it.
A few moments later.
Halfway through the battle, half the arena looks like it just went through a Call of Duty nuke strike. To end his suffering, Mary offers our boy a deal. Become my slave and I might let you live. But Koji tells her that hunting noobs while you are a pro sounds pretty lame. But since he is a nice guy, once he defeats her, he'll make her strip and kneel down in front of the entire arena. The rage bait works once again and Mary's ego shatters on the spot. She once again starts spamming purgatory flames. But this time, Koji's moving differently. Man's dodging every hit like he unlocked Ultra Instinct DLC, and starts bouncing around the battlefield like a cracked-out Beyblade. Out of nowhere, he teleports behind her and throws his entire body weight into her. The impact sends her crashing to the ground, dazed and confused. Before she can even recover, Koji's already got a knife pressed against her neck, warning her to stay put, or else he will stab her. Koji tells her that he can do whatever he wants with her. Neither Zaid nor the judges would step in, no matter what he does to her. So he asks Mary the million-dollar question, would you rather get your cheeks clapped while you are dead or alive? Upon hearing the word dead, Mary starts panicking like a Valorant teammate holding Spike alone, and tells Koji she'll do anything. Those were the words he was waiting for, so with a villainous smirk on his face, he says, did you just say I'll do anything? He reminds her of every cruel word she said before and tells her to do the exact same thing. In a shocking turn of events, Mary strips but naked in front of the entire Coliseum and apologizes to Koji, saying she'll never do a terrible thing to another person. Zaid's jaw hits the floor and she starts losing her mind like, how the hell did this NPC just beat a boss character? Meanwhile, Koji stands there smiling, like he just bagged his first Pokemon and vows to never lose a fight in this world. Mary staggered forward while Koji tightened the rope around her wrists. As the door opened, Zulu congratulated our boy on his victory and gave Mary the bombastic side eye while sarcastically roasting her. She casually mentioned that Mary had always dreamed of losing her V-card to someone stronger than her, so technically this outcome was perfect for her. Mary's expression drained faster than a phone battery at 1%, and she snapped back, swearing that she would kill both of them. Koji yanked the rope around her wrist and told her to shut the fuck up for a moment. Panic flickered across her face and Koji suddenly remembered Zulu's earlier advice. Treat Mary like a bitch, because apparently, she respects tough guys and this was step one to tame her. Zulu praised him for following the plan and pointed out how Mary was already falling for him. Before leaving, she told Koji to visit the secretary for the official post-battle procedures. At the reception desk, a hot mommy with glasses handed Koji a special room key and 2 vials of a secret drug. She tells him about the compatibility ritual between victor and loser, in which the two must drink the potions and stay inside a sealed room and play Smash Brothers for 24 hours straight. If the ritual failed, they would be forced to repeat it. Mary was started to get nervous because it was her first time getting jiggy with a man. Meanwhile, Koji was also shitting his pants because he is a virgin as well, and since he was an introvert who always played League of Legends, he never touched grass and got himself a girlfriend. But then without hesitation, he chugs the entire secret drug vial in a single gulp, and this makes Mary nervous. The chamber they entered was small, just like Wiener, but it met all the basic requirements, so it was livable. Before Koji could sit down, the elixir suddenly hit him like a Japanese bullet train. The potion worked fast, his pulse skyrocketed and he started sweating instantly. He threw Mary on the bed, whipped out his 6-incher and gave Mary them daddy backshots. Koji finally stepped out of the chamber looking like Mary drained every single drop of his white mayonnaise. Zulu greeted him with a laugh and informed him that he'd been inside for 3 days straight, something he hadn't even processed. Koji immediately insisted on going to the city shop and she agreed, because they need to talk about his next opponent as well. She guided him into the lively streets of the Dango Citadel, the second largest city in the region, and explained that they can get whatever they want from here. She also revealed that Zaid is one of the 9 archbishops, and is deeply involved in every corrupt business imaginable. From gambling to contract assassination, they are involved in everything. After reaching a bar and decide to talk inside a private room, since they won't be overheard. Zulu starts by congratulating him on his victory, but reveals that his situation hasn't gotten any better. She warns him that he is now on Zaid's radar, and since he humiliated a fighter from Zaid's nation, she'll target him with everything. So now he needs to do everything in his power to survive in that Coliseum. Zulu reveals that she has her own personal grudge against Zaid, and she wanted to destroy her for a long time. So he needs to keep winning because her goal is to support Koji long enough for him to crush Zaid completely. With this announcement, they shake hands and promise to stick together like ass cheeks until they destroy Zaid. She reveals that beyond Mary, Zaid has 3 more fighters. Finn Catastrophe, a fighter who possessed over 100 skills and fought like a walking library of pain. Alice Cotton, a woman who uses spatial manipulation skill, meaning she could disappear or swap spots at her own will. Third one, and potentially Koji's next opponent, Merle Barak, a massive muscle mommy with ridiculous strength, and she is undefeated as well. Furthermore, she also has 3 types of power buffs, which makes her Koji's toughest opponent. He felt worried about their plan, but Zulu assured him she could handle her part. She claimed to be stronger than most fighters and made that clear with a confident smile. The scene then shifts to a castle, where Zaid was stomping the ground in frustration and hurling insults straight at Koji. Her fury shocked the nearby fighters, and one of them commented on how mad she looks. Zaid turned around and saw her remaining 3 elite fighters standing next to her. She sat on her throne and announced that beating Mikigami was now top priority. Alice refused immediately, saying she is not interested in trash, while Finn didn't care enough because of her mood swings. But Merle happily claimed dibs and was ready to smash Koji. She hit a JoJo pose and bragged about how her strength was unmatched, hinting she would never lose to someone with trash skill like copying. Back to Zulu, who was giving Koji a quick lecture on how the class system works. She pointed to Merle, whose magic maxes out her attack, defense, and agility stats. To put it simply, all of her skills belong to class 5 and they are maxed out. On top of that, she is an elite-level martial artist, and with her buff skill, her attributes will also get a temporary boost. Zulu then looks at Koji and points out that his copying skill degrades the buffs, so the skill he would copy is going to be a weaker knockoff version of the original one. She then looks at him intensely and asks if he got any plan. Koji thinks for a moment, but like a chill guy admits he doesn't have one. She starts panicking and reminds Koji that he promised to win his next matches. Our boy remained cool as a cucumber and assures her that he'll win. But in the meantime, he told her about the arrangements he wanted her to make for his fight. 4 days later, the hosts announced the match that would decide it all. Koji entered the arena to face one of the 4 heavenly kings, which made Zaid nervous. The crowd was electrifying and everyone was excited to see what strategy Koji would use this time. Odds were insane, 100-1 against Koji. Almost everyone had their money on Merle, because she was the logical choice. Back in the waiting room, Mary told Koji he is going to die today. Our boy wondered what's wrong with her. 3 days earlier she was acting cute, so what happened now? She reveals that Merle is a firm believer of the survival of the fittest, and she only sees strong people as her equal. Meanwhile, weaklings are not even considered human by her. Mary made sure that he understands one wrong move meant instant defeat against Merle. Koji teased her, saying he didn't know she wanted him to win that badly. She blushed instantly and denied it, but with a confident smirk across his face, he promised to celebrate his win with her body tonight. The announcer shouts the arrival of both competitor as the arena explodes with cheers. Merle, the queen of solo duels, a lightning-fast warrior with 20 wins and 0 losses against Mikigami Koji, a slave with the weakest skill known to mankind. The crowd wanted Koji turned into a collectible doll, and Merle seemed excited enough to make it happen. She was going to give him a beating in the arena and then turn him into her personal doll backstage. But Koji hits a JoJo pose and promises to destroy her so bad that she won't be able to stand anymore. With the declaration of victory from both sides, they gave each other the 1,000-yard death stare and got ready to throw hands.